love the high-grade Leo from Gundam Wing, but kinda feel like not enough comes in the box. It's a very basic kit, and if you want to build a lot of them, it just starts feeling kinda samey, right? Well, this right here is the high-grade Leo full weapon set. So this is essentially the high-grade Leo that we all know and love, but with a ton of extra stuff that we previously only seen with different variants of the Leo. If you're like me, you love that classic green, but you also love weapons. So this is the perfect kit. Well, it would be the perfect kit if it wasn't, well, you can tell from the monochromatic box right here, this is P Bandai. So you do get a bunch of extra stuff in here, but once again, P Bandai, harder to get. Anyway, let's check this thing out. But first, a word from this video's sponsor, Footmouse.
Introducing a revolution in gaming. Footmouse, the first science-based gaming mouse made for feet.
I've been using Footmouse since 2017, but not on land. There's a lot of controversy as to whether or not Footmouse should be termed illegal. It's just such a huge advantage, but it's still all about skill. Footmouse just raises the skill gap. It's a whole different level of play.
Footmouse, get your foot in the game.
初めての相手はジョジョではないこのディオだ
So this video is actually sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. A game that you could, well, play with your feet if you wanted to, but why would you do that? Raid Shadow Legends is a dark fantasy RPG that is free to play. Of course, it's available on mobile, but now it's also available on PC and it's cross-device. Upgrade your heroes at the tavern, unlock new heroes over at the portal, fight bosses like the Golem, Spider, Dragon, and the massive clan boss. Remember how the daily login rewards program was just 90 days? Now it's been extended to 180. Each day you can claim free rewards, from energy refills, silver, gems, to shards, and a free barbarian legendary champion, Seal of the Drake. So go to that video description, click on those special links, and if you're a new player, you will get 100,000 silver, 50 gems, 1 energy refill, and a free champion, Adjudicator. Just look at this cool champion they're giving you absolutely free. You will find these extra rewards right here on your homepage, up in the top right hand corner, for the next 30 days only. Now on to the review. So that right there is the high-grade Leo full weapon set out of the box and just snapped together with no extra effort. And of course, as it is right here, it is exactly the same as the standard high-grade Leo. Which is a good thing. It does mean that they both match, because there is some premium Bandai kits sometimes that are variants that are similar colors but not necessarily the same, kind of like the Jegan and the Jegan D. So that means the colors don't necessarily match, and that means you can't swap out parts, use parts with each other, etc. But with these guys right here, you can, so that is great. That of course does mean that this is based on the fine build system once again, which means it's very easy to build, everything's laid out so simply on the runners, and this is designed to be built en masse, so you can build yourself a Leo army. But just in case you did not see the full review of the standard high-grade Leo, there's a quick 360 spin of what it looks like completed. So the color accuracy is great for such a simple kit. I guess that's what's so great about the Leo Grunt. It is simple, so it was simple for Bandai to redesign in high grade. The surface detailing is nice but not too overkill, which suits the Grunt look. We've got that clear piece in the head, some red on the sides. And probably the worst aspect about this kit is some of the seams like the ones you can see up there on the shoulders, but in general, it's a simple, easy build. But anyway, we have seen this kit multiple times before on the channel. What we haven't seen is what comes in this box, and this is ridiculous. Just look at all of that. So essentially what we get in here is what we saw with the standard high-grade Leo, plus the Leo flight type, plus the Leo space type, but now all in that iconic green. This really is insane. But we have seen all of this stuff before with those reviews, so I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly. Now here we go. So first up, this version of the Leo comes with some alternate hands. We've got the standard type, which are those basic blocky holding hands. As well as those, we do have a pair of color accurate, widespread dynamic hands. These do not have their own armor for on the back of the hands. You actually have to take the armor off of these guys to use on these, which is a bit of a pain. It's not the worst. And interestingly enough, we also have a second pair in here which were left over from a different color runner. So these are technically extra parts. They aren't color accurate, they are in green. But you could just use these as is, or paint them in brown to use them with some of your other Leos. That is pretty cool. As for close range weapons, we have a pair of pretty standard pink beam sabers. We've got not just the one there, so like I said, we do have a pair. Beam can pull out for storage, and I'll talk about that when we get to the shield. Moving on to the long-range weapons now, and first up we have that classic Leo rifle. Once again, the same as we saw before in grey and that awesome matte black. This little handle section beside the canister can move up and down. But yeah, we saw this with every variant of the Leo so far, so on to the next one. Next up in here then we've got the short type beam rifle. This is fairly plain, it's just made out of 2 bits of plastic. That's one side, flipping all the way around to the other. So like I said, fairly simple. Next up then, somewhat similar but a little bit different. This right here is the colony type beam rifle. So this has 2 different forms. This short form, you can pop off the barrel, pop on this longer barrel, and this, believe it or not, is called the long type. And speaking of long types, next up is this, the long type beam rifle. So this right here is just a variant of this short type beam rifle, and unlike the colony type beam rifle, this isn't just swappable parts, this is 2 different rifles. However, if you do like your grunts rocking big heavy weapons, well, we also have the Mega Beam Cannon. So thankfully all of the weapons in here have these easy slide in handles, so there is no disassembly of the hands required, so it's as simple as popping it in just like that. So there we go, there is the high grade Leo with the Mega Beam Cannon. The next heavy weapon we've got in here is the Bazooka. This was also featured in the flight type kit. Once again, this slots in super easy, just in like that, and that is what the Bazooka looks like. So the last 2 weapons in here then is the Dober Gun. This doesn't just slot into the hand like the rest of them, this has a whole shoulder attachment segment up here. So to attach this to the Leo, you just pop off the shoulder armor like that, clip that Dober Gun onto where that armor came off. This can be popped on either or shoulder, and this segment right here slides down to hold it all in place. So that right there is the Dober Gun. We do have this little ball jointed handle down here. Very simple, but does all that it needs to do. And that right there is it for the weapons. So now trying out some of the other equipment, and first up we're going to make the flight type, this time in green. To do that we just flip them around, pop off this little segment on its back, flight unit pops in like so, simple as that. Once again we have some alternate shoulder parts, so pop off that. This little black adapter segment attaches on right there, and then we have this shoulder armor, just pops on here like so and has a little turret up top. There is the second one, and that right there is the Leo flight type. Just for that quick shelf presence test, there it is up on the shelf so you can see what it looks like with a collection. Once again, I will mention that these are primarily master grade kits, so that will make this look smaller than it actually is. But as usual, a Leo's strength is in numbers, not on its own, so this is one of those kits that you want a lot of for maximum impact. And also for maximum impact, don't forget to add parts that are meant to be on it, like these thrusters that I meant to put on the side of the legs, but forgot. So next up then is the space type, so we just pop off the backpack like so. Once again, off with the shoulders. The flight type shoulders are probably the most difficult out of the lot to attach. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually difficult, but you do have to pop these little segments on first, like this, then slot the green sections onto them, like so. These ones look so cool. Then pop on the backpack, just like that, and that right there is the Leo space type, but once again, this time in green. Next up then, this kit we've got 2 different variant colors of the parachute pack. Green is actually the official color, the brown one is left over, but it is always nice to have that option, or have an extra one left over for one of your other Leos. The last bit of equipment we have in here then is the shield, and this is exactly the same as what we would have seen in the standard high-grade Leo kit. And like I mentioned earlier on, when the beam sabers are not in use, you can store them in here underneath. But yeah, there isn't really a whole lot extra to say here. This is the exact same high-grade Leo kit we've seen before. If you want to know more about the articulation, the build, etc., you can check out that video. I'll put it up right here right now, as well as a card up in the top right-hand corner if you want to check out the full review of the standard full-release kit. So anyway, that right there is it for the review. This is exactly the same kit we saw before with the standard high-grade Leo about a year ago. It's an awesome little kit. I didn't rank it back then, so I'm not going to rank it right now. But it's a simple, basic little kit. It's easy to put together, and the whole purpose right here is to build a ton of them. This is one of those kits that you might only need 1 or 2 of, so you can have all those extra weapons for your army of standard full release kits. I wouldn't really recommend going out and buying a whole ton of these, because once again, it is the standard high-grade Leo, just with some accessories. Think of this more as an accessory kit for your current Leo army, just with an extra Leo in there. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more gunpla reviews, and I will see you next time. As always, I cannot finish this video right here without thanking each and every one of you guys who watches my videos. Whether you just watch them, like them, share them, or support me on the channel memberships and Patreon like Craig Jerry, Kaiser721, Bolwick, Tyler Sanders, Caleb Engelhart, and Hank Handsome.